7:14 on a cloudy Wednesday morning, and we'll want to welcome the mayor to microphone number 2, Street Superintendent Amon Tilley to mic number 4. Gentlemen, welcome.
Well, thank you, Dale.
How y'all doing?
Doing good. Good to be here, and we're talking about the weather and what the radar looks like. I was born here in this county, and I don't believe I've ever seen a lawn so green. Noticing driving in this morning,
pretty, is it?
It's beautiful, and when you hear the reports of out west where they're fighting fires and large numbers of homes are in danger, we've got a lot to be thankful for here. With the blessings we've been really blessed with a lot of good rain, and I think one of the news agencies reported that we were July was the 4th wettest July on history. Yeah. So we're going into August here with a good rain, and lawns are green. And
wonder what this will do to fall colors. That groundwater up, I think we're going to have a nice, pretty fall.
May do it. I don't know.
It's going to be nice.
Well, they always say if we don't have it, from the lack of rain. So
yeah,
I don't think we can blame it on the lack of rain this year. If they'll be nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So how you been?
Well, been doing good.
Thank you for the blackberry cobbler. That was great.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, and
good.
Pick those blackberries out here by Dr. Swartz on the Buzzard Roost Road, and where he keeps them old Longhorn cattle. And I was telling you earlier, I think for every berry you pick, you'll get stuck at least one time with a briar. It may be trying to get to the berry, but anyway, we enjoy doing that. So.
Well, thank you. It was really good.
Well.
So what's first on the list here?
Well, we're talking. Amon is here, and we're going to talk about roads and streets and kind of where we're at on some projects. But before we do, we was talking about our lawns and everything, and I know we continue to have an ongoing problem with people actually mowing their lawnmowers, turning it where it throws it out into the street or into the rain gutter. This morning, I noticed grass in the gutter in several places, and folks, this winds up into our drainage system, and Amon can expound on this, but it doesn't. 95% of the people do it right. We just ask the other people to be considerate. Don't throw that grass out on the street or on the sidewalk or into the curb, which is next to the, it's closest to the grass where they, but. Our police department is code people are looking pretty hard at it, and so we just don't want people to get in trouble. But if you continue to do it, you will get a citation from the police. I mean, we have a law on the book that says you're not to do that, and to keep our town beautiful like we want it. Yep. We don't need grass, and after it's blown out there for a day in this sun, then it turns ugly brown. Yep. And
then a day like today will wash it in the drain system.
It is, and people just need to notice if someone in their neighborhood is doing this, they can see the remains, and it may be several houses down from where the mowing actually took place, but it's there. I mean, I seen it this morning, so we just ask people to cooperate. And another thing from a safety standpoint, and I know you've seen this over where you live, mowers with when they get to a certain angle, they have the part bungee cord up where
on the rock deflector.
It's a deflector, and where they're throwing the grass, and that's understandable in a lot of places where no danger of throwing rocks or foreign objects that might hit a person or do damage to property. So these are things that we just want people to be safe.
Leave the safety devices in place.
Well, exactly. It's there for safety reasons, and when you mitigate that safety by strapping it up.
I've seen several, especially on the zero-turn lawnmowers, where these guys are trying to get it done rapidly. Get in with 2 mowers, get in, get out. And they've got the rock deflector, that spring-loaded plastic shield, bungee corded open to where there's no restriction on the exhaust of the grass. And I walked out my front. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm about hit under my vehicle because they were aiming at my side of the street.
Well, it's dangerous, and I'll just give you one example, and this is a personal example, and I don't usually do this, but we're talking about safety here. Back in 1963, when you didn't have the big riding mowers, you had just a small gas push mower. My cousin was mowing, and my aunt and uncle lived about a half a mile from where we lived, and he picked up a coat hanger, and it went about 25 to 30 steps across the lawn, hit his mother, my aunt. It hit her in the shoulder. And it went through her just like a corkscrew, and she died. It killed her. And folks, this is back in '63 when the mowers wasn't really that powerful. So it can happen. It happened to us. It happened. This is real life that I'm talking about here, and it was a terrible loss. But you see a little coat hanger. I've always looked anywhere I go. If I see anything metal out in the lawn, I definitely try to make sure it's where a lawnmower won't hit it.
Mowing my backyard with a push mower one time when a piece of the wheel mount broke and got in the blade, and it slung it up towards the house and hit the wooden deck, and it actually indented the wooden deck by about a half-inch deep.
These mowers,
there's a lot of thrust.
They're powerful. But thank you for letting me share that personal story with you. It's just from a safety standpoint, I just want people to really be aware that something that looks really simple or really uneventful can become a major.
It can be. You bet.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, with Amon sitting over here, I tell you what, we've got to compliment our street department on a good job. I'm down in the Waverly, Meadowcrest area a lot, and that looks like it's come along pretty well. Those guys are out there sweating every day.
We're making some pretty good progress on it. We're doing the curb and gutter and the underground storm drains there. And then 16th Street, we're extending it on through to Glenbrier. We paved it earlier this week, so, we've still got sidewalks and stuff to do, but we're probably going to go ahead and open it up to traffic. But we'll ask people, to watch the guys that are working because they'll still be working there on sidewalks and landscaping and things. But we're hoping that street will relieve some of the pressure around the schools, and so we're going to probably go ahead and get it open and get people kind of used to it as I cut through.
Well, I think it's a good move. Glenbrier is just south where I'm at. It's by basically where the Christian Academy comes out, just south of the Christian Academy right there, and cuts back towards the west. And that's a great link for the Pinkston, that hook up with Pinkston, then all the way down once y'all get South College Street completed. It's going to be it's going to be nice.
Well, it is. It is.
And that South College project, I mean, that looks almost like a nightmare that you guys are having to handle down there, but it's looking good.
Yeah, they're making some good progress on it. That's actually a state project.
Oh, is it state?
But the contractor that's working on it, they're making some good headway on it and doing a pretty good job with everything.
Now, is that going to be 3-lane from the bypass all the way to College at 9th Street?
Yes. Yeah. And it'll be a sidewalk on both sides of the street all the way down to the library.
Oh, my goodness.
Across the college property and stuff. So
that'd be beneficial for kids walking.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice and a lot safer.
It is, and we've got a local contractor actually.
So the money's staying at home.
That money's staying at home. He knows the traffic problems that we have at different times. He knows when school starts. It's going to be a very congested area up and down South College. But he's made good progress.
Yeah, he really has. They've made some good progress.
So now we've got school starting in about 12 days. What can we tell parents that need to use the Montessori, Pinkston kindergarten area? There's going to be some congestion, maybe a little bit of confusion, but we got to be patient here, folks.
Well, you're exactly right. It will be congested, and before anything that's worthwhile, usually we have to pay a price for it, and we're in that time frame when school starts this year for. We're going to pay a price. People do have to be patient. We want to keep those kids safe because of the construction. It's always congested down there without the construction. So with this construction, it's going to add to it. So, but just think of what it's going to look like and be like, and how much easier it's going to be to have access to those places.
Sure.
Once this project is completed.
So now, hypothetically, let's say that I'm coming from South 5 and I've got a child going to, say, kindergarten. So I can come in on the bypass, but I can take the new 16th Street rather than the construction area on what is 201 to be South College. Take the new 16th Street and cut through the back way to the kindergarten rather than getting in that congestion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. You'd exit off the bypass on Glenbrier.
Yeah.
And it'll be one block there,
and
you'll turn left onto 16th, and it'll take you right into
the kindergarten and the
kindergarten
Pinkston,
and Pinkston and stuff. And
so hopefully that'll take some of that congestion
any
out.
of the traffic coming from the south, it should be a good relief for them once they kind of get used to it. And that the Highway 5 South is probably the worst traffic problem we have in Mountain Home.
Really?
And it's just that it's just.
You mean out by Carl Wayne's nursery, that area?
Yeah,
really?
Through that area there up to College Street. If you're over there at 7 o'clock of a morning, that traffic is backed up every morning. And there's just nowhere to get alternative routes around it. I mean, we've looked at it, and that's what brought this street on.
Well, now, I've got a question for you. Can we
that.
petition the state, let's say, because I live out that way, because I come out McClure and turn left to go to town. And then once I get to the bridge, is there any way, and this would be a very expensive project, but have a right turn lane? Of course, you'd have to have to make a wider bridge, but have to have a right turn lane. Would that not alleviate a little bit of that congestion?
Yeah, if we could get that at some point, and at some point I think they probably will. Now, they're just like the city and everybody else. They're
tight on
got
funds.
limited dollars, but if we could get that a 4-lane up through there, 3 or 4-lane, either one would be a big help. But it's just. There's just a tremendous amount of traffic there every morning for a 2-lane highway.
I'm on that road so many times I really don't pay that much. Of course, by 7 o'clock in the morning I'm always down here. So
yeah, you miss probably
a lot of times the traffic will be backed up from College Street back past Eastside Baptist Church.
So traffic, we're with a population of 12,400 plus people. We are I've always said Mountain Home is one of the busiest towns for its size, and I that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I got to share this with you, gentlemen. This happened to me years and years ago, and I got to point a finger, but I don't want to name names. If you're driving like a flatbed truck, pulling a trailer with a backhoe, try not to be in the school zone areas. I got behind one of these huge old dump trucks pulling a trailer, had a backhoe on it one time, and they're doing about 12 miles an hour going north past Pinkston School. And the traffic was unbelievable that morning. And just the congestion, you couldn't get around. They can't drive fast because they're probably locked in second gear, just maintaining the speed to get the stoplight. But when people are trying to get their kids to school and trying to get to work by 8 o'clock, you can't drop kids off, I think, before 7:30. If you got to go from Pinkston to the junior high couple schools, try not to congest the highways up with stuff. Either go before 7:30 or after 8 o'clock. Help the parents out.
Well, again, it's if people can consider, helping or doing an alternate route. Basically, we people that live here know where the congested areas are during the rush hours for school. So anytime we can take an alternate or help that situation, we need to consider doing that.
We've got about 45 seconds before we go to the news break. Who wants to give us a little quick verbiage here?
Well, we was talking about 16th Street and coming in, that the people, but it's going to, and like Amon said, it's going to take people time to learn that route. But when that is actually working, it's going to be interesting to see how many people is going to come in that route and even cross college and head on out instead of coming around and coming. It's
going to be quite beneficial.
Well,
I can see it now, especially even if you're coming, and I'm starting to run out of time here. But even if you're coming from, say, the Ultimate Auto Group area, you're coming in from that area, instead of going north on College, coming down to, is it Glenbrier?
Yeah.
and turn left on Glenbriar, then turn left again on 16th and take the back roads. It costs you a little extra mileage there, but you get out of that congestion.
Kind of coming through the back door.
There you go. We're going to continue the discussion after the news break. Stick around. Be right back. 7:35 on a cloudy Wednesday. Checking the radar once again. We've got shower activity, pretty good shower activity around West Plains, and it breaks off back towards Springfield and Lebanon on I-44. Joplin getting showers right now. Nevada, Missouri getting showers. Not a lot coming down across the state line yet. Looks like we have a little bit in Salem, Arkansas, around Hardy area as well. But nothing showing up severe, just a kind of a rainy, cloudy day. Back with the mayor and the street superintendent, Amon Tilley. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you, Dale. We were visiting on the streets when we took intermission there. But anyway, I'd just like to publicly say thank you to Amon and to his street workers. They do, like we were talking about over on Waverly and in that area where they're actually redoing. And if people really look at what they're doing, they're putting in large underground drainage systems, which they do anytime they redo a street. Mm-hmm. And but they do this in-house. Most cities will have a contractor to come in and actually do this type work. But we have the capability, thanks to Mr. Tilley, to actually do this and in-house without, and we save a ton of money by doing it that way. We're able to
ask you, how much would that save?
Well, I'd say I'll let Mr. Tilley answer that, but it'd be big.
Yeah, it's a pretty good savings on every project. You know, we do a total on the projects when we're done and kind of comparing, but it I'm not sure the percentage, but it's a pretty good savings. Plus, it keeps we have 30 people that work in the street department, so it keeps 30 people working year round. Another thing is about everything that we buy and stuff in the street department, we try to keep as much of it local as we can. Some stuff we have to get from out of town, but we use the local contractors when we do have to contract something out, and then we use local suppliers for just about all of our materials. So that kind of helps keep the area. We have about a $4 million budget, and we the biggest part of that gets spent right back in Mountain Home.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've also got a really good street committee made up of council people, and they know their areas, and they know what the needs are, and so not only to thank Mr. Tilley and our employees, but the street committee, they do a good job too.
Yeah, the street that we was talking about over on 16th Street, the way it came about was, we had talked in committee meetings about the traffic issues that we had on 5 South and was trying to find a solution to some of them. And actually that was a suggestion from the committee, was to look at a way to put 16th Street and extend it on through there. Mm-hmm. And so, our committee is Dave Allman, Coach Webb, Rick Pierce, and Carl Graves. Mm-hmm. And they do a real good job of helping us out. They are. They're a good team.
One thing I wanted to talk a little bit about this morning too was the Creekside Apartments. That the hearing went before Judge Womack back on I believe the 15th of July, and he gave new owners an opportunity to come in, and actually they're doing work down there now. They're trying.
I saw a fence up there.
They're trying to clean up. And the next hearing is scheduled for August the 19th, which was a 5-week, actually about a 5-week period in between the first hearing. So we're hoping that these people are serious, and they are spending money. They're putting up a fence, doing some cleanup. They've been boarding up the doors and windows, and so. But in that order, there's several things that they have to do within this time frame. So we're hoping that they comply with the order and can actually go in and redo these apartments, make them look attractive, and make be 64 units. That's would be
Usable
available
again,
here in Mountain Home, and so it's not in our ballpark right now, but we kind of got a little excited when we seen the people down there with actually starting to do some work. So
I know that's kind of been a nightmare for the police department.
Well, it has been, and it's also a safety issue there with fire and police, because when people have access to 4 big buildings and with no one, they could be a lot of things going on inside those without ever knowing it. Yeah. So it's a constant, I guess, on the fire and police. It's pretty high on their radar.
Constant surveillance, I would think.
It is. It's high. It's been high on their radar, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, but if this company does not comply with the court order, and it'll be up to the judge. But should it get turned back to the city, then the street department and we will do it in house with help from the street department and from other resources. So,
speaking of that street cardinal, Mr. Tilley's here. How much bribery money can I pay you to take the stop signs down north south on Cardinal so we can have a straight shot through there?
You probably wouldn't have enough. So.
I love those stop signs, especially at spring at Cardinal. I used to come through there at 5 o'clock. Oh my goodness, the traffic was unbelievable.
Well, you know what? Again, it goes back to this busy town that we have, and it from 7 to 8, and from 4:30 to 5:30, quarter to 6. Those streets are carrying probably a lot more traffic than they were designed to carry. I mean, they're carrying it good, but it's a
I know. And I've noticed a lot of street counters. I think there's a street counter out here on Spring. There's been one on McClure, and there's another one. I can't think where it was, but man alive.
Well, those counters and
growing pains, Mayor. Growing
pains. And you know what? These are good. This is good because we want to grow. We want Mountain Home to grow, but grow at a rate, and I've said this several times, where we don't outgrow our resources, and that's would be ideally, and I think we're doing it. I think things are happening.
Well, look at the west end of town. You've got the new Harps, of course. You got the bank, and now the Ultimate Auto Group have got the dealerships. The new GMC dealership out there, and you've got the Arkansas State University facility now that was graciously donated. That end is I think you're gonna see a lot of potential for growth right there.
Well, it has pretty much everything that you need to grow. You've got good roads. You've got lots and lots of water. You've got the utilities. And the good thing is most of that has already been annexed in along 62 West.
Yeah.
And that's where Mr. Tilley is. We're starting to the entrances. One of the entrances actually into the land that was donated where the softball complex is going to be. And I'll let Mr. Tilley talk about that a little bit because we're pretty excited about that.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, we're getting started on that for McCabe Park. And we're going to have the road going in there is going to be between the 2 dealerships.
Okay. Between Ford and General Motors?
Yeah. And, they gave us some right-of-way there to widen that out. We got some right-of-way from the Baker family to get back in on the back side, which gives us a lot better access in than what we was first looking at, a lot safer access and stuff. And we have started some of the road work there. When the crew gets done on 16th Street, then we will pull that crew off and put them over full time. But we'll finish 16th Street first.
Look, I want to throw Mr. Tilley curveball. When you're given a job to start and there's no road, how do you even determine how to get the road in there?
Well, the first thing is, you kind of look at from the safety issues, the best place for the road and stuff, and then you just go in and start clearing the property, getting the surveys done on it, getting your elevations, getting the engineering done, and then go in and build a road.
Do you have to look at of course you have to look at your foundation, but rocks, dirt, and all that. Now you have to take into consideration if the road's going to be totally level, if you got hills or.
Oh yeah, and then the dirt that we have around here, you can't build a road on. We go in and we cut that dirt out. All of our roads have a minimum of 12 inches crushed limestone under the asphalt. We build a road. Our goal on these roads when we build them is 20 years before we have to touch them.
Oh, wow.
And
good.
we have held up to that pretty well.
Well, and a thank you to the ultimate people that are working with us and to the Baker family. But from a safety issue, this is going to be a much safer entry or exit going in or out there. So, but that land back in there, I'm telling you, when you drive over it or walk over it, you can just see the potential that
that's going to be so nice.
It's
going to be so nice.
It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, but
we'll give you 3 days. How's that?
Yeah, 3 days. I hear you.
Hey, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Let's get this break out of the way. We're visiting with the mayor and street superintendent Amon Tilley. Be right back. 7:49. We're checking the radar again. We got shower activity mainly in southern Missouri. Not a lot in northern Arkansas right now. It's all moving east. A lot of rain over around Sykeston, Missouri, across the Mississippi River into Kentucky, southern Illinois, places like that. Poplar Bluff, West Plains getting shower activity right now. And completing our program this evening, listen to me, I can't even talk anymore. This morning, Amon Tilley, our street superintendent, and Mayor Joe Dillard. Appreciate you guys coming in early today and discussing stuff. It's always good to have you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dale. It's good to be here drinking this Brewed Awakening coffee and actually enjoying fellowship and talking about issues and in our general area. And I would just encourage people, this is Wednesday morning. We have one of the best farmers markets in the country.
Isn't that awesome?
And if you don't grow a garden or don't grow enough, you need to go down and visit the farmers market.
My son and daughter-in-law were in from Murfreesboro, Tennessee over the weekend. We went to Old Time for breakfast, and then we went over to Jack Clayton's Nature's Way for a while, and then, we got to see the farmers market. That is amazing.
Well, it's grown, and I've watched it back when I was judge back in the 80s, and there was a wall around the courthouse at that time, and people would set out on that, or set some of their produce out on the, vegetables or berries on that wall, and but now you've got a pretty full-blown farmer's market.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
well, they're getting the tomatoes and peppers, and I've seen some jellies and jams that have been canned. Everything.
Well, it's good variety.
Great variety.
It's a good place to go and just go and visit, but a great place to go and buy fresh vegetables and nothing better. One of the things I wanted to say, a thank you to the Mountain Home Swim team, the Hurricanes. They hosted, but they also raised money. That group raised over $16,000 and bought. That's took, I think, like 2 to 3 years, maybe a little longer. But they bought new starting blocks for the swimming pool, 8 new starting blocks, and we dedicated that about 10 days ago. But that is a great group. The swimmers, the coaches, the parents that support that.
Yeah.
And I just want to publicly say thank you to the swim team for their contribution back to the pool. It really enhances the pool, and that draws again those swim meets here. We talk about ball games a lot or soccer.
That brings them in.
That brings a lot of people in, and
was it strictly an Arkansas thing, or did it have several states?
I think it was basically. I'm not sure. So, but I think there was 7 or 8 visiting teams here plus Mountain Home.
Wow.
And that means they're here, they're eating here, they're spending their money here, but they're also enjoying our facilities that we have. And I asked the coach down there, and she said, "We're going to win this thing." And so we have a winning spirit here in our sports, whether it's swimming or whatever.
We got baseball teams going to New York for World Series play.
You know what? We need to talk about that. This is, I believe, the 13-year-olds that's going to New York.
I think it's Tom Jordan's team.
Well, we got a call, and we have the music on the square, Friday night music. We got a call from this group asking if they could, and we told them by all means. They're going to be setting up watermelon and selling it by the slice to the people that's enjoying the music on the square.
Ooh, that'd
and
be
that
nice.
that money is going back to help support the trail. And I would just encourage everyone to come and get a piece of watermelon, make a donation, whatever.
Tell them to keep the change, too.
We really need to support our teams, and
bet.
you know, and that they start early.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from T-ball all the way up and down the
I've been
the line.
involved with it for a long time.
Well, I have too, but when you hear mention Mountain Home, a lot of people around, especially throughout the state of Arkansas and southern Missouri and you know, eastern Kansas and part of Oklahoma, they know what Mountain Home, you know, for our baseball.
And they like coming here.
They love it. They love coming here, and who wouldn't? You know, I mean, I say that nicely, but if they've got a choice to come here and enjoy our beautiful area, green area,
Yeah.
with the lakes and the rivers, and you know, that river is. I noticed a couple of days ago that river water coming out of the lake is so clear.
Oh,
You know, it's beautiful water, and
that's down at Cotter Springs Friday.
Yeah.
Unbelievable down on the White River. Beautiful.
Well, you know, we again have abundance of resources here, and so we're blessed.
Down to about another minute, then we wrap it up.
Okay, well, I would, Mr. Tilley, anything you'd like to wind up with?
Might just touch on the traffic light at Arkansas and 201. They're in the final stages of it, so it should be up and operating hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Good.
Well, that project, yeah. But I just want to publicly wish our ball teams. I think we've got two teams. That's going to tournaments, and we need to support both teams. And
some are going as far as New York, Jamestown, New York, and I think it's somewhere around the 17th through the 22nd. So they'll be gone through the first week of school.
Well, but they're out representing Mountain Home, and you know that's what helps put Mountain Home on and keeps us on the map and on people's radar. Yep,
it really does. Well, gentlemen, we're down to 23 seconds. Mr. Tilley, great job with street department, and tell those guys we appreciate them standing out there in that heat every day, working and digging and trying to get these roads done. Tell you what, it's tough work, but they're doing a great job. 16th Street looks good. That's going to help. And then, of course, we get the 201 project done, the South College Street. It's going to be a big asset to the city. Yep.
It is. We're going through growing pains, especially on South College, but it'll get better and be better.
Bear with us. It'll be really good. Thanks to the mayor and Amon Tilley for being here. That wraps it up. We'll be back tomorrow. Hope you have a great day, everybody.